We're going to get back to lockdown in no time now. So President Trump and a bunch of senators have tested positive for COVID. Okay, so they're not going to die. I guarantee you, not a single one of them. You want to know why I know that? Because of the CDC statistics on mortality. The mortality, now that they've stopped inflating the death count, I assume, I hope, is very, very low. Like, down there with the flu when you think about it. And now I already can see the people typing, the furious media fucking suck-offs in the comments below. There's 200,000 deaths. No. See, when you look at overall mortality, it's lower now. Or unchanged. I don't know, I haven't checked lately. But last time I looked, it's lower than a normal year. That's all causes, you name it. Mathematically speaking, if COVID was as deadly as they say it is, by they I mean the media and Democrats, fucking, you would see that count on top of our normal average annual death rate. So there's hole number one. But the CDC's own data says 0.00, and it has it broke down by age group. And I don't have the numbers for you. You can look this shit up. In fact, I encourage you, don't fucking take my word for it. I mean, these are decisions about your health. You should do your fucking homework. And by do your homework, I don't mean the news media. Look around you, people. If it was as bad as they lead you to believe, to where we should shut down, take away all your fucking freedoms, chances are you would know multiple people by now who have died from it. Not gotten it, but died from it. In my opinion, not only has the virus evolved to become less lethal, but our treatments have improved. I don't think we're just venting everybody like we did in the beginning. Probably also a big contributor to the inflated numbers. But the media is still hammering. And now that President Trump and a bunch of senators have gotten COVID, all Republicans, mind you, which is interesting. Oh, they don't wear masks. Yeah, they do. They take tests. They have all kinds of precautions they take to try and insulate. You know, you act like the president's going to the fucking block parties down in New York City. It's not happening. So while you're cowering in fear right now, if that is you, if I'm describing you, or you're more afraid now because the president's got it and a bunch of other people got it, the media's like, oh, the president's going to die, he can't breathe. Meanwhile, he comes on and gives a 4-minute fucking speech where he says he's fine. He looks a little tired, I'll give you that. But, when you're sick, how do you look usually? And I'm not saying COVID don't exist. I'm saying it's not lethal enough for us to give a shit at this point. It's not. If I get it, I'd be like, oh, I got COVID. It'd be like saying, oh, I got the flu, or oh, I got a cold, or oh, I don't know what the fuck I got, but I feel like shit. Now, is there a chance that people die from it? Absolutely, but those people are already sick from not taking care of their health. Or they're extremely old and it's just, they're waiting for the one thing that flicks them over the edge. When you get old, that's what happens. Something's going to come along and take you out. It's a matter of time, statistically speaking. COVID has only done that by itself with no comorbidities to 9,000 people. Not 200,000. The rest of those numbers, this is by the CDC's own information. I mean, if you can't trust them, You're going to trust the media? Now, I don't fully trust the CDC with everything, but the fact that this doesn't support the narrative, some of the data they're putting out that they're burying, it's making it difficult to find, doesn't support that. You know, and I'm seeing people live their lives. Now, I've been all over this country during this, and I've seen the most extreme lockdowns all the way up to the most freedom. And what really drives me nuts is there are people left that haven't bought it into this and are living their lives. And not just here in South Dakota where I am right now. You know, in New York City, there's been tons of why do you think Cuomo's always on the warpath? There's less compliance in New York City, and that's where this fucking outbreak started in the United States. You know, and we got to understand that the time for fear has passed for COVID. But now the media is really beating the war drums on it because Trump has it. Not to mention all the absurd bullshit, the speculation. Why? We don't fucking want the media. We don't pay the media to speculate. We want you to report facts, not speculation, not your fucking opinion. Keep your fucking opinion on your Twitter page. When it comes to fucking telling people shit, keep your fucking opinion. Fuck your opinion. We're not watching because we want to know what you think, because we fucking think you're fucking morons, you pieces of shit. Quit trying to interject your fucking opinion and bias into every single fucking thing that happens. And they're doing it with this. Now, mark my words. Remember this fucking video. President, fully recover. All of those senators that got tested positive, most of whom had no symptoms, fully recovered by the end of this. Give it a couple weeks, they'll be good as new. Not to mention they have the best medical treatments that most Americans probably don't have access to. I can tell you, if I get sick, I'm not going to get the same level of care that Trump gets. So I'm willing to bet, that I'll put my reputation on the line here. None of them's going to die from it. None of them. And some of them are Trump's definitely in the vulnerable category. Still all under fucking 1%. Way under. For people over the age of 70, 0.01% chance of dying from it. People die. People have been dying every year from all kinds of things. All kinds of things. And they're still dying from all kinds of things. The difference now is if they test positive for COVID, they get counted in that count because it makes the number big and it makes the number scary. Would you be as scared if the reported COVID deaths were 9,000? Would you be like, oh, well, 9,000, okay, that sucks, but doesn't mean I should lock myself in the house and fucking wrap myself in fucking cellophane every time I go out? So while you're afraid and typing in the comments of how much of a dick I am, this is what I just experienced. This is going on right now. This happened yesterday in Deadwood, South Dakota.
Well, folks, remember you're racing the clock, not each other. You gotta pound the nails when you get down there. Listen for the whistle.
Now, you see occasionally you saw a person with a mask, and I'm fine with that, by the way. I believe your personal right to choose. Social distancing, impossible, the way the street was set up. And I don't think it should be set up that way. No, none of those people you just saw are required to be there. So let that sink in for a minute. Everyone there knows the risk. Believe me, they do at this point. It's impossible not to know. You can't even go to Walmart without hearing the fucking authoritarian voice come over the fucking speaker and say, please practice social distancing or you will fucking die. Please be courteous and consider others. Every one of them motherfuckers that you just saw knows the risk of being out there, and they have the freedom to make that decision in this state. Can't say that for all the states, can we? You do that same shit in front of Cuomo and he'll fucking hang you in the fucking public square. And they'll use the liquor authority to sodomize you in the process. So, I've been struggling with this because I see all of these states that are doing it wrong, in my opinion. Florida finally has changed there. Now, just because a state takes the legalities out of it doesn't mean you're done with COVID. You're seeing that in the states that open. Even here in South Dakota, there's businesses. Like at the same time that you saw that at Sturgis, my buddy's here from out of town. He was passing through, and I just happened to be here when he was passing through, and we went to do Mount Rushmore, even though I've done that like a million times now. But we went to Mount Rushmore, and he had to go in the gift shop, and I went to try and get a coffee. They were masking you up to get in. Meanwhile, everyone's running around. I guess outside it's okay. There's no really definitive evidence, especially when you're not in direct sunlight, which we were in the shade at that time of the day. The thing is, most people are at such a low risk that these, and how can you argue the effectiveness of masking and social distance when it only takes one person to not comply, and yet here you have people by the thousands, not just here in South Dakota, but all over the country, these things happen. You have house parties that were happening in LA. You have street and block parties in New York City. No, not just the college kids. I've heard firsthand accounts from people that were residents there. They closed the bar, so what do people do? They get together with their friends who they would normally go to the bar and drink with. Well, guess what? They go to their house and drink their face off. They're not wearing masks. I've been in social gatherings myself. Same thing. Before I went to that thing you just saw, I stopped and played poker. Not a mask at the table, and not a mask, I think maybe 2 masks I saw in the entire thing. None of the employees were wearing masks either. You'd think they would be all concerned about it. Dealers weren't wearing masks. I know some of you hate that I play poker, but I actually feel normal in there. I feel like normal life. That's why I come here to South Dakota. Is because it allows me these moments where I don't fucking think about COVID. Where I'm not worried about my mask. Where I'm not worried about how close motherfuckers are if I hear someone cough in the room. That's what I want. That's the freedom that I fucking served my country for. That's the freedom that people have died for. And we've just pissed it away because we're scared of something that doesn't even fucking kill us. I'm tired of the lies and the manipulation to keep people scared. And now that this is happening with the president, I feel like it's just going to get worse. And the Democrats are going to point. I've never seen such happiness among Democrats. Now, granted, there are some Democrats who have been like, well, I hope he doesn't die from it. I hope it's okay. They're just covering their bases. I know they sincerely aren't fucking buying into that. Because they would be hypocritical if they wish death upon the president. Meanwhile, like before he got COVID, you hear fucking all kinds of, you got all kinds of lefties going, hey, I hope he dies. That'd solve everything. No. You don't get to have it both ways, motherfucker. So, and I know some people who are far enough left that they downright celebrate the fact that he's got it. They're pointing the finger with all their moral superiority. You see, it's because he didn't follow the rules. Meanwhile, you learn that, I don't know if you've been watching outside the media, which I tend to do. There's things that show that the debate, they didn't test him before the debate because he was running late. So rather than delay the debate, so he was up there in the same room with Biden, no masks. And they ain't fucking social distancing. I see it. And I see it in places where compliance should be fucking high. Social distancing isn't even a thing. Who the hell even fucking reads the arrows and the X's on the floor? I certainly don't see it going on in Walmart, which is one of the essential places you're supposed to go. Yeah, let's fucking cattle guard everyone into one store in the beginning of this and then fucking shut down all the other stores. Remove their options. You close the retail store that sells clothes and electronics. Where do you think everybody fucking went to go to buy clothes and electronics? They're in there with your grandma who's trying to buy their groceries for the week. But we didn't fucking think about the hypocrisy of that. There's just so much dumbness with the COVID thing, and I'm so over it at this point. So, stop being afraid. That's what I want. That's what I want more than anything. There's worse things to be afraid of right now than COVID. COVID's at the bottom of the list in my book. There's governors that are having overreaching power. There's political and there's unrest, there's riots, there's all kinds of things that are going to have a deeper, more profound effect. Not to mention the economic impact if we continue with this stupidity. If we don't stop fucking with the economy the way we are, sooner or later those fucking chickens are going to come home and roost. I think that's because I'm in South Dakota I said that, I'm sorry. Sooner or later, this is going to catch up to us. Because there are businesses I know that are struggling. And while, Wall Street's doing all right because everybody's still buying their shit from Amazon and Walmart, in the end, there's going to be a large portion of the population left behind looking for jobs. There already are. Unemployment is a lot worse now than it was at the beginning of this. I wouldn't say we've hit bottom. My experience as a trucker says we're still moving a lot of freight around, so the economy is still going. People are still making money, and people are still buying shit. I'll let you know when that changes. In fact, there's a big shortage of drivers versus freight right now, which is usually the case, but it was especially egregious, even in California, which is still locked down a lot. I don't know what else to say. It seems people have made their decision on COVID now, and they're like, this is, there's nothing. You could show them a 100% cure, and they wouldn't fucking believe it at this point. You could show them all the evidence in the world that COVID is not that lethal anymore, and they won't believe it. And that's a problem with a lot of things nowadays. People, once they get their minds made up based largely on propaganda and fake news, then they roll with that. You can't convince them otherwise. There's no open-mindedness. There's no debates. There's no way of convincing each other of shit. I should know. I try. Kind of try for living here on the channel. And what I notice on the channel is when if I say something that one of my subscribers doesn't agree with, a lot of times they fucking jump ship. There's a few of you who stick around who don't agree with me. I even have a few vegans on here. But for the majority of people, if they don't agree with you, they won't listen to you at all. No matter, you could have all the proof in the world. You could have all the possible things that would convince somebody of the truth, and they won't fucking acknowledge it. I got in an argument with my buddy last night about COVID. He brought up the trucks to move bodies. So apparently one of the morgues in fucking New York City early on got fucking filled up. And I countered with the whole ventilator issue, 80% mortality. And he actually agreed with me on that. One of the reasons we have such a high death count, people, is remember how when we were all like, ventilator, we were making factories make ventilators. We had ventilators up the ass. Cuomo was like, I need more ventilators so that I could send them to the nursing homes where I'm killing thousands of old people because I'm putting COVID positives in there with the most vulnerable. We're talking 2-3 comorbidities, some of them people in the nursing homes. They need to be protected from everything, not just COVID. And, you know, now that we have the attention on the nursing homes, let's not forget all the people that die in there before COVID, that you got to kind of question it. I think nursing homes are shitholes, and if you have a loved one and you put them in a nursing home, I'm sorry, but you're fucking up. You're fucking up because it's a miserable place. I don't go in there and see a bunch of old happy people fucking playing bingo. I go in there and I see misery, depression, suffering. They're sitting there waiting to die and they're eating the worst fucking foods possible to do it. And their family doesn't visit them very often. So they're pretty much got each other in there and they're all miserable. And some desperately lonely in there. You would think they'd have a community going. Not necessarily. But nobody gave a shit about that, and they still don't. But if you're walking through Walmart, you better wear a mask because of grandma. Yet you'll put grandma in the fucking nursing home. How many stories of abuse in nursing homes have happened? Don't get me started on nursing homes. I'm completely against it. And if you work in a nursing home, I'm fucking sorry, but it's bullshit. You know, I'm just saying. I won't put my mother in a nursing home when she's elderly. And she's getting there soon. Not yet, but she'll be there soon. No, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do as her son and take care of her if she becomes unable to do so herself. And it may require sacrifice. It may require some, changes in my plans. You know I've got plans. But if it comes down to it, I'm not going to fucking put her especially in a Cuomo nursing home. Because I've seen what he's doing. And I've been in the nursing homes there. And I'm just like, no. But nobody cares about that. We all care about being virtuous on Facebook, but we don't seem to really give a shit when it counts. You know? Black Lives Matter, for example. Black on black crime has been ridiculous for years. You don't hear shit on the mainstream media or in any of these politicians talking about it. There needs to be a solution to that. And I'm sure that there are black people that are just like, hey, I can't disagree with that. They don't feel safe. You know? And I've seen it. I've seen that with my own eyes. So let's stop with the virtue signaling. You're not a fucking morally superior fucking keyboard warrior when you're typing those fucking comments with people you disagree with on this. And if you locked down and wore your mask the whole time through COVID, congratulations. So I understand. It's not your fault necessarily. Look at the information you had to work with, but I'm here to tell you need to work with all the information, not just what comes out of the media and politicians' mouth. Because if you're listening to Democrats and the media in terms of COVID, you'll be locked down the rest of your fucking life. Remember the new normal? They want it to be permanent. Permanent. You want to do this for the rest of your fucking life? I sure as fuck don't. I don't want to be thinking about, do I need my mask to do this? Do I need that? I don't want to go into places and be like, I can't fucking do what I want to do just because of COVID. Really? There's things that aren't open. There's things that are closed. In my home state of New York, which I haven't fucking left yet, but it's on my list of shit to do. I can't do everything I want to do when I'm there. And even the things that are open for me to do aren't fully open. I still can't sing karaoke. I still can't fucking go to a large concert. If I go to play poker in New York, it's going to be mask hell. If it's even open. I haven't even checked, to be honest with you. I didn't bother. I didn't think it'd be worth it. Just for the fact I know they would require me to wear the mask the whole time. You know, I mean, what else can I say? You know, and I've been out here this whole time doing stuff like walking through that crowd that you just saw, playing poker, going to karaoke bars. I was here when Sturgis was going on. Everybody was all like, oh, where's the big death count from Sturgis, people? That was a while ago now. Well over the incubation period. And yes, there were positive cases, but no spike in death. Not even in South Dakota. And look what's going on in South Dakota. Well, there's not a lot of people. There was a lot of people here. And here's the other thing about that crowd you just saw me go through. A lot of them are tourists from other states. This is a tourist destination, people. People come from all over the country at the entire warm season to enjoy there's all kinds of tourist traps in the Black Hills, and you know, you got Mount Rushmore, you've got all of these little tourist towns, and you've got Deadwood. I mean, look, people come here from everywhere. And a lot of them are coming here because they can't do all the shit they want to do where they're at now. And the economy in South Dakota is stronger than it's ever been. Remember a while back when I first came back here pre-COVID? Straight up, the economy was a little bit depressing. Now it's booming. The housing market's insane here because people are moving here left and right. Can't imagine why that is. People want to live their lives, and they don't want you interjecting on it. They don't want you telling them what to do. All right? They don't want to conform to your belief structure. This is a country built on multiple belief structures. There's so many people with so many different opinions out here, and we all want to control people we don't agree with. And that's fucking horse shit. And I'm not trying to control. I just want my freedom. I want to do what I was doing before COVID. All right? It changed my life. I'm out here in the truck because it happened. So let's wake the fuck up from this nightmare. Snap out of it. Maybe when the president comes back to fucking his White House, this is going to be a horrible news cycle this week. You know, I'm not even watching the people that filter the news. I'm getting so annoyed. You know, hopefully when he recovers, and notice I say when, it's not an if. When President Trump recovers, maybe people will calm the fuck down and say, well, if he, who's clearly in the vulnerable category and overweight on top of it, and we've seen how he eats in the past with McDonald's and whatnot, if he survives it, will you maybe be a little less afraid? I think not, because the media will steer the ship to the next thing to be afraid of. Because while you're afraid, you're clicking. And they are eating this Trump getting coronavirus. It's literally everywhere. I walked through the truck stop to get a fucking coffee this morning, and now they're like, well, the economy is going to tank because Trump has COVID. I don't think so. Just saying. But the media is going to grab that fear and raise it up to the max. They amplify everything. It's all the media is doing. They'll amplify your fears. They'll amplify your anger. They'll amplify, whatever it takes to get you clicking and watching their advertisers. And if you trust the media, you're insane. I got in this argument with my buddy last night, and if he's watching this, I hate to trigger you, but if you trust the media, you're fucking nuts. Media trust is at an all-time low. There's been multiple polls on that shit. People don't trust the media as much as you think. Sorry, my camera overheated. But, ironically, that same friend that was arguing with me, arguing in favor of Cuomo in some cases, you know, you saw him in that footage. I'm not going to point out exactly who he is, but you probably know him. And, yeah, he's walking through that same crowd with me. No mask, nothing. He said he does agree that people should be allowed to, businesses in particular, should be allowed to make their own decisions. But I don't know how you can take that position and not condemn what Cuomo and Gavin Newsom and some of these other Democratic governors are. It just goes to show when you're politically motivated like that, when you're tribalistic in nature when it comes to politics, that you're going to run into these moments of contradiction. So, but anyways, that's enough of me bitching. Please like and subscribe for more shit, and I'll make more shit. Oh shit! I might have got something while I was walking through that crowd. We'll find out, won't we? No, we won't, because I ain't getting that fucking oversensitive test either. You know, I do the best I can out here to keep my sanity. You know, I know some of you love it when I rant like this too. But I just had to turn the camera on and share my experience yesterday. Also went to Mount Rushmore and, you know, did that. It was all good. And we went to Wild Bill's fucking grave in Deadwood. Actually hiked up to it. And that was quite the little jaunt. And I'm probably going to go play poker today. I was going to hike, but I'm not really feeling up to it. I don't know. I'm out of shape as fuck. I need to get back on the horse at some point. But it's getting cold. It's going to be winter, and I'm not going to be doing much hiking anyway, so it would be kind of pointless to try and get in shape, you know, enough to be able to do a large backpacking thing, just to hibernate in this truck all winter. So please follow me on Odysee, which is formerly LBRY. If you already followed me on LBRY, it's the same login. But I do highly recommend their webpage. Their viewing experience has improved dramatically. The notification system's good. Has a like and dislike thing on there. You can still tip. It's still LBC. It's the same currency. And yeah, and I'm enjoying it. I've started watching LBRY content a lot more just because of the Odysee website. Links will be below if you want to keep up with that. And occasionally I do some rants on there. I'm going to be doing some more podcasty stuff exclusively on that platform. So please, if you haven't followed me on there, subscribe to my free email list as well on ScottTheTruckDriver.com. That's how I send out notifications on there. But if you're following and you visit, you know, Odysee regularly, I'll show up in your follow feed. There's no manipulation there. As soon as I post something, you'll see it pop up there. Plus, I can boost it, and I do boost it, so it'll pop up. So if you want to keep up with me on that platform, it's pretty easy nowadays. I still haven't been able to live stream on dlive in a while, and I'm starting to question whether I can even do it out here anymore. I might give it a shot this week. I don't know. We'll see how my time works. But for now, if you want to stay informed of that, follow my free email list. And some of you have clicked on that, and I appreciate those of you who have come over. I don't flood your inbox. It's only a notification thing for me. I let you know when I do something off YouTube. I might, you know, let me know in the comments. Would it be helpful if I also notified you when I post on YouTube on there? But if that would entail a little bit more emails in your inbox. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. Anyways, that's it. Don't get COVID. It'll fucking ruin your life. Have a nice motherfucking day. Shit. I wish this fucking thing was over. This fucking COVID horse shit. It's bullshit. Motherfucker.